I remember waking up at 4 months postpartum, crying and shaking. Why? Because I just had a dream that I was pregnant with my third.
Oh.
And I woke up crying. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. And then I was crying that I was crying because, again, I had this dream of this big family and it freaked me out.
In this episode, I sit down with Lala for one of the most honest and moving conversations that I have ever had. Lala shares her story of deeply wanting a big family while at the same time struggling through the weight of her first pregnancy. Funnily enough, Lala is one of those people that I've always wanted to speak to on this topic. And so I did, and I really do not regret it. I gained so much, and I know all of you will as well. She opens up about the guilt she carried, being afraid to have more children, and how she slowly found the strength to move forward. There were tears shed as Lala spoke with rare vulnerability about what helped her from learning how to swim in the kiddie pool before diving into the Olympics of building a big family. She drew strength from the Torah, from her religion, community, and her own inner courage. Her message is sincere, it's raw, and it is life-giving. I believe with all of my heart that what she shares has the power to impact not only women today, but the generations of children who will come after them. And yes, I said that. I hope you guys enjoy. It is a beautiful, raw, and sincere episode. Thanks for being here. I am really excited for this conversation because you are the exact person that I wanted to address this topic with personally. And it's because on your face and in your body language and the way you talk as well shows that this is your passion. Like, you care about this topic, and I knew that within the first 10 minutes of meeting you.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot because it's my passion because I've worked on it. It's not just something that happened overnight or even, all my life I grew up like, this is my passion, but it was something that I struggled in and surprisingly struggled in, which we'll get into later. But it's something I worked really hard to succeed in. And
It shows.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I wanted people to also know that I'm happy and I'm loving this.
Wow. So let's get into the this. Women in today's day and age, and also men, for sure also men, but we're women and we're the ones having the kids. So I'm going to address it from our standpoint first. But if you come over to a woman, a mom, or even a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old and say, like, what do you think of having like a big family, a lot of kids? Especially, by the way, if you're talking to a mom with one or two kids, like, so you want 8, 9, 10? Like, the first knee-jerk reaction is like, like,
I'm drowning.
I'm drowning already.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think that is? And how do you think we got there? Like, why are people so scared to have so many children? Myself included. I'll be open and honest. I want a big family, but when I think of 7, 8, I immediately imagine the 2 that I have, and I'm like, how?
Our anxiety rises, right? Like our heart, like, it starts pumping. Like, wait, but again, because I'm drowning, right? So it's like, imagine we're in a kiddie pool and we're having a hard time in that, and then we're like, we're gonna throw you into the deep end, and you're like, I can't, I haven't mastered the kiddie pool, like, I can't touch the floor now. How am I gonna be able to touch the floor,
100%.
in the deep end? But then you put a 20-year-old in the kiddie pool, they wouldn't have that anxiety, right? So definitely when somebody is in the process, like right now, you have, it's 2 under 2, 2
under 3.
2 under 3. Okay, so 2 under 3.
That's not even so squished together.
Yeah.
I'm still saying that.
No, first of all, it's a lot. It's a lot, and also every child's our own gift, and we have to figure out each child, right? So child number 1 is so different from child number 2, and we think we've got this. We're like, oh, no, after the first kid, we're like, okay, I think I kind of got this. I know my kid, I know babies, and then we get a new baby, and it's nothing like the first, and we're like, wait,
Another project?
I have to relearn how to swim, right?
Absolutely.
I have to relearn how to swim.
You think society plays a role in the way that women think about having children?
I think society made parenting very hard on us, and the expectations. Um, Something I think about all the time is if I were to write a list of what makes a good mother, and I'm putting that into quotations because
Who
what is it?
decides?
What's a good? Well, who decides what's a good mother? But if I were to make a list of all the things that society tells me I have to do in order to be a good mother, um, it's just not doable. So I'll, it starts with having a clean house all the time. Now on top of clean house, like also like get the aesthetics right, like as make it beautiful. So it's not enough just to be clean, but like for me that's a big struggle. Like my house looks like a warehouse, you know. Now it helps because I have 4 boys, so go ahead, like go warehouse it away. Like I'm not nervous about anything being broken because there's nothing to be broken.
You set it up that way.
I set it up, and I will talk. Maybe we'll get to that. Where my personal thoughts on it switched, but 1,000%. So I have to have a clean house. On top of the clean house, I have to have a nicely designed house, and then I have to have dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my kids. But they can't just be like a meal. It has to be
healthy.
They have to be healthy, and they have to be pretty. Now we have like
homemade muffins.
You have to use a cookie cutter to cut the cheese, to make the cute flower
ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so you can't. It's not just about.
I'm laughing because that's so in my brain. Like when I'm making baby's lunch in the morning, I'm like, what are the teachers are going to look at his lunch, and I want them to be like, oh,
like such a good mom.
Mother is
such a
just
good
lovingly.
Mom.
Ew.
Right. And like, right. So it's like we've been so like, it used to be that cereal and milk for dinner was okay, and now it's like, no, we cannot have cereal. First, the sugar, the food dye, like the amount of food dye I grew up on, right? But like, dare put any food dye in my kids' food,
I wonder if the visuals of social media and I don't think the pressure wasn't there at all before, but I think the pressure has been amplified because if you go on social media, or forget social media, like people's pictures that they're posting on family groups, like there's so many visuals, like there's so many aesthetics.
They're so cute. They're so cute. Like I want it. Like at least like, once, I have a sister-in-law who she tries to get one family picture per amount, right? So like one kid and one family picture, 2 kids, one family picture in that time frame. So she's giving herself, a decent amount of time.
I like it.
Like it's a goal. Like, because there is something so nice about looking back at your photos. Like I'm not going to take that away, right? Like looking at your photos and being like, oh, do you remember that stage? Like when this was our family, right? And there's definitely, for me personally, with every new kid, there's a little bit of a mourning of the family that doesn't exist anymore. Because with each child, there's new dynamics, right? And it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, but my baby's not my baby anymore. He's now the big brother.
No.
Right? Or like my youngest just became the middle. Like, what? That's weird, right? So the family dynamics are different. Yeah, like you said, the seasons. So mourning that a little bit. And I love looking back at the pictures and being like, remember when like we thought like one kid was hard? Remember that? and going back to those days.
Yeah. No, it is. It's very nice to have the aesthetics at sometimes. Like I see the thrill in it, and I actually personally enjoy dressing my kids up nice, and I enjoy dressing my house up nice. And for me, it's finding the balance because I want to stay me. Like I like nice things, and I also am aware that there's so much external pressure about it. So it's like staying me within me.
And I want to add to that is, am I dressing my kids pretty because it makes me happy, or because I'm worried about what the neighbor is going to say about me and my kids? And that's a very different drive as well, because one is tapping into our feminist, like feminism,
Feminine.
the feminine part of me, right? Like there is something so beautiful about me being a feminine, me being a female,
Being feminine.
me being a female, that I enjoy pretty, right? And being able to dress my kids pretty and lean into that makes parenting fun, right? As soon as it becomes stressful, as soon as it becomes overwhelming, as soon as it's stopping me from having more kids, because that is godly. then I'm doing something wrong. I have to go way back, and that's really what I think about, because some of these things on social media are cute, right? Or like they're fun, and it's like, hey, I want to try that. But that, again, that overwhelm, that stress, that pressure, like I feel so bad for my my younger self, of how much pressure I put on myself, because that was taking away from my happiness. That was taking away from being a present mom with my kids.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it in a second.
Yeah.
And aside from making our kids the pressure, the external pressure we have to be presented in a certain way, there's also the emotional toll physically that it takes on the mother.
Right.
Pregnancy, postpartum,
Yeah.
and then taking care of a whole child, having your life shift dramatically with each child. We're giving over our entire lives to our children. You can
Yeah.
see I'm like,
It's
I've
a
been
lot.
there.
I'm like, I'm feeling it. As
Like
you're
in a way
talking.
we're not people. Does that make sense? Like in a way,
Yeah.
okay, we are people. That's very dramatic, but we are essentially, yeah, giving over
We're not
our
receivers,
identity.
we're givers.
Mhm.
Right?
I know that you had your own personal journey with difficulties postpartum, like
Right.
real difficulties postpartum,
Yeah.
and you navigated that so beautifully. Not that the postpartum was beautiful, but the work you did on this topic is so beautiful. And I want to hear your journey. Like what was your experience having your first child and then your second child? How did you pursue the love for having a big family and children?
Right. So, okay, let's start. First of all, I grew up in a big family. Both my parents grew up in a big family. My grandmother is the oldest of 15.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was raised with this love of big family, which I'm so grateful for. And I want to say, even when I was imagining marriage, like as a little girl, imagining my wedding and my chasna, the bridal gown and the flowers, like, which I totally was in that world where I loved it and dreamed about it for many years. I never really thought so much about my husband, but I imagined a whole bunch of little kids around me. Like my dream was my family, and my husband was obviously part of that, but like.
From how old?
I want to say 5. Like I always loved kids, and I remember wanting kids, So when I eventually met my husband, it was like, yes, kids. Like, this is going to happen. Right? And obviously, and not even that. It was when I was dating my husband, it was like, yeah, he's going to make a great father.
Aww.
Right. And that was something that got me so excited to marry him, because I was so focused on this family that I really, really wanted. So I thank God I got pregnant very, very soon after our wedding, and it hit me so hard. I'm like nauseous, like all day nausea, or specifically night nausea. And
so that means no sleep.
No sleep. Yeah, I had my bag of pretzels next to my bed that I was like eating, and I will still remember it to this day. And I repeat the story so many times because it was the start of this journey. I'm sitting on the couch vomiting, and I don't even think I was vomiting. I was just nauseous, which is worse than vomiting. I found that sometimes the vomit, then I was able to exist afterwards.
You get 10 minutes of relief after the vomit.
Exactly.
TMI.
But this was like the nausea, like that pit in the stomach of like, ugh. And my husband walks in through the door, and so innocently, like the poor guy so innocently was just like, so what's for dinner?
Rookie mistake.
Now, he didn't even mean, like, the expectation was not that I should make dinner. It was like, should we order pizza? Like, that
what
was,
are we doing?
Like, what are we doing? Like, it's time to eat. And I completely spiral. I'm a terrible wife. I'm going to be a terrible mom. I can't even keep myself alive right now. How am I going to keep this kid alive? How am I going to keep my 10 kids alive? Okay, we already jumped to 10 kids. And I will still remember that was my first panic attack I've ever had.
Oh, no.
And I remembered, this. I found out the next day that it was a panic attack. I didn't even know what it was. I remember stopping to breathe and telling my husband, like, I think I need Hatsala. Like, it was bad. I drank water, calmed down, cried, and spoke to my mentor. I spoke to my mashpia the next day, and like that, like I'm like tearing up because I want to give myself a hug back then, like, honey, you're not gonna have 10 kids overnight. It doesn't work that way, it's gonna take a while, and it's okay to have pizza every once in a while, to help you
so
have
hard
this kid.
on yourself.
Yeah, I was so hard on myself. Like, so yeah, so even like before postpartum, we're talking about prepartum. We're like,
why am I crying?
It's so much because it's wow.
We all feel it in our gut. That's why.
Because it's like this is my family that I dreamt of my whole life, and all of a sudden that dream is falling apart. You know. Okay, let's drink water. So these tears are
also you're thinking back on like what would you say to your friend who's like sitting around the couch curled in a ball, nauseous, growing a baby for the first time, and she's like beating herself up.
100%. And and I remember just like my husband, like, thank God, he the most supportive rock, and I would be like, I did nothing today, and he's like, what are you talking about? Read that app. You just built lungs today, or like there's a heartbeat today. Okay. So to be fair, I sometimes would tell him what to say when I was feeling good. Aww. It was something that I would be like, ooh, tell me this when I'm going through a hard time.
Wow. That is really advanced.
It was really cool. I don't know exactly what, like, but I had certain mantras that helped me get through because this was something I really wanted. I really wanted this big family, and I needed to make sure that I could do it.
You were set up for success.
Yeah. And so there were certain things that, one of the statements that really helped me get through was, this is a 20-year investment of 120 years of life. So God willing, I'm going to live this long life, and it's only 20 years. And I know like 20 years, like that's so many, but in the long run of 120 years, what's 20 years? What's 20 years? And for the biggest gift, for something that I know I love, I know I want so badly.
So from that moment, like, how was the rest of your pregnancy?
Right. So thank God. I spoke to my mentor. She was such a great listening ear, and she would tell me all the time, like, take it easy. You're okay. It's not happening overnight. It's one day at a time. And you're enough. You're enough. And your kids, something she told me, which was so beautiful. She's like, your kids are so forgiving. You have a bad day and you think like you're this horrible mom. They're not going to remember the next day. They love you. You're their mom. So whenever I would have those hard days, after I had the baby, that was a big deal. What else? Yeah, there's so much to talk about this. We could deep dive into this for a long time. All I know is that right now, like, I get to hug my babies, and I worked hard for this, and
yeah, you did.
And I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky.
I don't think we realize how hard. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for.
I wasn't expecting this, but
this was not on the list. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for how hard we work and how much of our
of our whole, yeah, we give everything. We give everything. And I do want to say that part of the process is these emotions, right? Like riding the waves. Our kids take so much from us. Every emotion that you could feel, like when we teach our little kids, like, this is sad, this is lonely, this is angry, like, and all the facial expressions, our kids make all of those emotions so real to us on an everyday basis. I've never felt any of those emotions as much as I have as a mother.
Wow. I need to hear like how you got through your pregnancies. What were your postpartums like? How did you navigate it? And how did you go from like being evil to yourself,
right,
to embracing the everything that comes with motherhood and coming to love it? Like, teach us how to love the hard parts. I feel like I see you with your children, and again, like from outside in, it might be very different, but you give off zen. Like, no matter the chaos that's going on around you, you have 4 boys, you're fine. You're breathing, like your face is soft. You're not gritting your teeth. Like, tell us how you got there.
I sometimes look at myself as Lala. When there's an emergency, their job is to come in, take care of the issue. But imagine if they would walk into the situation and start freaking out and screaming, right? They wouldn't be able to do their job. They have to come in with a certain professionalism and a calm into the emergency. And so my job is to nurture and protect my zen, like to make sure that I am in that, because when I freak out, I can't parent.
No.
And my anxiety will go into my kids. I don't want that, which, by the way, not to put any pressure, because, like, it will happen and it's okay. Also, they'll work through it when they're older. Sometimes I'm like, I made a mistake. Oops. Let's start again.
I remember you told me a story that you brought your child to school and you were like to the principal, like, I messed up this morning. I was very not nice to him. Please help him.
Yeah, literally.
We had a hard morning.
For real. She called me midday. She's like, I think he has to go home. And I'm like, it's my fault. It's my fault. And she's like, we totally get it. Let's just do a restart. We're just going to do a restart. And it's okay. We go through it. And I want to say that was right after I had my 4th. I was like in my newly postpartum. And again, that's a season in my life. And I embraced it, like, it's not forever. It's like, not forever.
I made a mistake and I'm in a hard...
Yeah,
the fact that you were able to tell the principal that, like, you didn't hide it, you didn't shame yourself. Well, I don't know if you shamed yourself in private, but you were open about it. You were like, I made a mistake. Let's...
thank you for reminding me about that morning, because it was a boo-boo. Like, I lost it at him in a way that I haven't in a long time, and I felt horrible because it wasn't his fault. It was 1000% my fault. Something that someone told me once was, when I go home to my kids and I go, the house is a mess, and I remind myself the house was messy yesterday too. Why am I upset about it today?
Like, what's going on?
What's going on inside of me that today the mess is bothering me?
Whoa.
And just that reminder, is that it's okay. It's okay.
And that goes back to the point of like nurturing the one who needs to nurture. Like, hey, what's up? You're sad. Like, we want you to be in good shape and feeling good, so that you can be yourself. So like going back to her.
And again, what is my job? Because we discussed in the beginning, what is a good mom, right? Like, what is that list? What makes somebody a good mother? And I say, and it boils down to what the Torah says a good mother is. And a good mother is an educator, right? I'm not a policeman. I'm not a lawyer. I'm an educator. And I'm going to educate my kids to not lose their temper. I have to do that to myself. I have to educate myself first. And then I could expect that from my child. So, yeah, how am I educating myself? I lost my train of thought.
Totally fine.
So again, days are chaotic. How do I forgive myself, right? I want my kids to forgive themselves when they make mistakes, right? I tell my kids all the time, it's okay. Mistakes are fine. I have to practice that on myself, right? Mistakes are fine. I'm not going to be perfect. My mother used to always say that she was not perfect. She was like, I'm not a perfect mom. All the things that I do that are not perfect, write on a list and tell yourself that you'll be different with your kids, because I'm doing my best, and I want you to do your best. And that was so powerful growing up, because I got to see my mother as a human being as well, right? Who makes mistakes, and she's
Aware of it.
She's aware of it
And allowing herself to.
Because she also did so many more things right. So many more things right. I'm so grateful from each and every one of my siblings. Like, it's the biggest gift that my parents could have given me, each and every one of my siblings. The other day I was speaking to my little brother, and he's not so little anymore. He's 15. And he was telling me, do you remember when, we used to go to school together? I would drive him to school at that point. I was, I want to say 20. I was, and I would take him to school, and I would make him like little hot cocos in the morning. Like, we would have our little drinks. And
he was your little baby.
He was my little baby. I loved it. And again, I didn't have to do it. I wanted to do it, right? Like, and he was reminding me, and I'm like, yeah, like, those were our little memories. And now I have my own little boys, but I know how to do it because my parents let me practice on my little brothers, like, thank you for giving me that gift. And it's so fun. It's so fun.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. Did that answer your question? I don't even know. Where were we at?
I wanted to hear how it did answer my question, yes.
Okay.
And I want to hear more.
Okay.
How did you get through those hard days? Like, you're telling me in snippets, which is all I want to hear. And I also want to hear big picture. Like,
okay. So I'm going to go back to specifically after my second, okay? Because first of all, I was so excited to get pregnant with him. Again, this is my dream, to have this big family. And I got pregnant with him way sooner than I thought even possible.
Can I ask what's
the age? I got pregnant with him 6 months postpartum. So there's a 15-month gap between my oldest and my second. And again, I looked at it as a miracle, because I never even fathomed that this would be my life. I looked at other people and be like, oh, I don't know why. I just assumed like I would have like 2-year gaps or 18-month gaps.
But if it was so hard, how did you become excited for it? Like, how were you excited about anticipating another?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember, to be honest.
Just blocked it out.
I guess I just forgot, like it says in the Torah that like women used to go to the Beis Hamikdash to sacrifice a bird, as a forgiveness for lying, because they said after having the baby that they will never do it again.
Yep.
So that I definitely forgot. There must have been,
so
like,
funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I forgot,
Us women are all the same. 2,000 years ago.
2,000 years ago.
Same story.
They still promised themselves never again, never again.
Yeah.
And then, so I was so excited. I remember being like, wow, here we go again, And then he was born. And it was hard. It was 2 babies, ultimately. I think my oldest was just walking. I remember like being like, I cannot give birth until he's walking. Like, you're going to figure this out. And making sure that I got to I'm like, there's no way I'm holding 2 babies. But ultimately it was 2 babies. It was 2 babies in diapers, the schlepping, the in and out. I would say the physical, exertion of
Even if
that.
mentally you're doing 100%.
Yeah, like physically. And then I mentally wasn't doing so well. That's the truth. And I was in a new location. I just moved. I started a new job, a dream job that I'm still doing today, which I'm so grateful for. I work with high school girls, and I was I was throwing my 100% into that, and a new place
With 2 kids.
with
Babies,
2
sorry,
kids,
not
2
kids.
babies, with 2 babies. And I remember thinking, again, I was working so hard on the forgiveness piece, which is like, this is just a phase. This is just a phase. We'll get past it. We could do this. And
You're so strong for that.
Thank you. I remember waking up at 4 months postpartum, crying and shaking. Why? Because I just had a dream that I was pregnant with my third.
Oh.
And I woke up crying. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. And then I was crying that I was crying because, again, I had this dream of this big family, and it freaked me out. It scared the heck out of me. Like, how can I even think that I don't want this big family? Right? Like, how could I even be scared to be pregnant? Right? So again, it's different a little bit than what maybe other people, because again, I had this dream. I need this big family, and I want this more than anything.
Not everyone, even from the start, has that dream.
Exactly. Not everyone even has that dream. So yeah, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? And that's when I realized I was not okay. Right? Because I truly believe that as women, we want big families. We do. Like, if we look at, again, the Torah, every blessing includes that you should have a nation come out of you. You should be fruitful. You should multiply, and you should have a nation come from you. Saturday night, after Shabbat is over, there's a prayer that 2 people could pray and giving each other a blessing. And I love that. I love that. It's beautiful. I love it. It's such a connection time between me and my husband. We say the blessing together, and
to each other.
To each other, yes. And we bless, like, he's giving me blessings, I'm giving him blessings. And he was translating a part of it to me that I never really focused on. It's like the 3rd line of the prayer, and it says, like, you should be fruitful, you should multiply, and a whole nation should come from you. And I'm like, this is a blessing that we're giving each other, which means that it's not a curse, it's a blessing. So this is obviously something we want, right? Like, as a people, as a Jewish people, this is something that God blessed Abraham with, that Yitzchak blessed Yaakov with, to have many children. We want it. And I think sometimes we're not in tune to it, again, because of those fears. There's so much fears. But I think if we tune into our own voice, I think every mother really wants that. It's just the fear of getting there. And again, for a quick second, I didn't want it. And I'm like, something's off. This is not me.
Like, you were blessed from the get-go to be in tune with that inner want.
Yeah, with that inner desire.
That we naturally desire, but you somehow bypassed the majority of the noise.
Yeah. And again, I'll give that credit to the women in my life, like my mom, my sisters, my grandparents, who...
And your nature.
My nature and God, again, it's a gift. I thank him for that. So all of a sudden I wake up 4 months postpartum, not wanting this. And that scared me. And I said, I have to do something about this, because this is proof that I'm not okay. Because I was pushing it, right? Like, it's okay. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. And I'm like, no, it's not passing unless I do something. Right? Like,
you were feeling it.
Continue. Yeah. I'm like, I don't have any guarantee that in a year I'm going to feel better. Right? How do I know that in a year? I don't know that. So I got to work on myself. I need to work on my mental health, my emotional health. And it was specifically a friend of mine who I was speaking to, who she was going through a very similar time. She was after her third, I believe. And she was telling me how she actually just reached out to a herbalist, and it helped her a lot mentally, to be able to get her to a place where she could, be excited for her to get pregnant with her fourth. Again, I want to just say this again, like, I surrounded myself with a beautiful community that shared similar values with me. And I don't know if I would have been able to do this journey alone. I don't think I would have. So I had friends who were like, yeah, this is something we want. How are we going to do this? So she told me, she's like, Lala, it's okay that you're not okay, but do something about it. And I remember looking at my husband and telling him I want to go to the Rebbe's Ohel. And at that point, we were living a driving distance.
Can you give us some background on who the Rebbe is?
So the Rebbe is the leader of the Chabad movement within Judaism, right? There's different groups, but the Rebbe, I would say, was not just the leader of the Chabad movement. He was the leader of the entire Jewish people.
Absolutely.
The entire world, I would say. He had big people coming to speak to him. We're talking, non-Jews. He cared so much.
Didn't he get the second most male in the world aside from the president at the time?
Yeah, that's what I think, even more than the president. Maybe
Wow.
I'm misquoting, but he had tons of mail. But people came and asked for blessings from all different walks of life, and he gave guidance, and he talked about the beauty of having a big family. I always think how he was not blessed to have his own child.
Yeah.
And the pain that must have caused him. And he's trying to encourage other people. The Rebbe was trying to encourage other people to have more children, knowing that this pain,
So you wanted to go?
The Rebbe talked all about the beauty of having children, and also talked about the struggle. He was so realistic, and he talked about every single challenge and struggle that a woman might go through when trying and working on building her family. And I told my husband, I'm like, I need a blessing, because he's my main motivator to having this big family. So I want to talk to him. I want to go to pray by his gravesite. And
had you learned those teachings?
So I knew it in high school. In high school we learned here and there. Definitely. Maybe I didn't know it as well. I wasn't as my husband works in yeshiva. He teaches future rabbis. So the word is Bucky, not so, didn't know every single word of it. And now I could probably quote them a lot better. But then I definitely knew that the Rebbe valued having a big family and encouraged it more than the amount that biblically is obligated. So
yeah, that's so true.
Which I haven't reached yet, by the way, right? I have only boys, so we're still working on the biblical obligation is to have one boy, one girl.
Oh my gosh, why can't I talk?
Yeah.
Biblically.
Yeah.
According to the Torah, it's a girl
and a boy, right? Too.
So me too. I also haven't fulfilled.
We haven't fulfilled it. We have to have the girl.
Doing my best.
We're working on it, But yeah, so I'm like, but I'm having a big family because of him, and I'm struggling. So let's go. I was maybe a little, chutzpahdik. I had a little chutzpah in me, and I went to the Rebbe. We drove through the night. It was like instant, like I was like, we're going. It's a 12-hour drive, a 10 to 12-hour drive.
Oh my gosh, with your kids?
With my kids. I just buckled them up in the car,
you go, girl.
And I'm like, we're going. Yeah, there wasn't so much planning involved at all. And I remember sitting down to write my letter to the Rebbe to put by his gravesite. And I said, Rebbe, everything I am is because of you. I'm a teacher because of you. I'm a mother because of you and your teachings. I married my husband because of you. And I said, Rebbe, I need help. I need a blessing. And I sort of like demanded from him. I said, if you want this from me, you got to help me out here. And I will say that visit to the Rebbe was so healing. I left like I gave my problem over to the Rebbe. I know he wants me to have a big family. I know God wants me to have a big family. So that now I have to start my journey. So what did my journey look like?
This is 4 months postpartum.
This is 4 months postpartum.
But were you ready to have another?
Physically, mentally, emotionally?
All the above.
So did I get my period back? No. Does that mean that, I wouldn't get pregnant? I don't know. again, I don't know. My last kid came at 6 months. So in my head, I was like, that's like my
So soon.
timeline, you know? So I'm like, okay, I have like 2 months to get my act together. You know, again, God could give it to me at 4 months too, but postpartum. But at that point in my head, I'm like, I have 2 more months, you know? Again, I don't know if that was realistic or not, but that was what my thoughts were. And I'm like, I have 2 months to get my act together. And yeah, so I left and I reached out to a good friend of mine, and we started learning every single day the letters of the Rebbe, the teachings of the Rebbe about the beauty. Again, going back to my natural instinct of this is beautiful and reminding myself that this is amazing. One of the things that I realized is that we're ready to invest in a lot of things and work hard for them. You know, people will start a business, take out a lot of money, and invest in it because they know that, you know, the potential is so much greater than, you know, what they're investing. So what I know, I want this family. What am I willing to invest in this family? More cleaning help. And I know it's so expensive. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I want to say close to maybe more than a fourth, maybe closer to a third of my salary was going to cleaning help, and a huge amount of babysitting and cleaning out of pocket. And I looked at it as this is my investment to my big family.
Whoa.
Right? Again, I'm really lucky that I don't need medical treatments to have my children. A lot of people who are going through medical treatments, and my heart goes out to them. And, you know, I sometimes feel like I can't talk about this because I'm privileged, you know, like, thank God
Sure.
you know, but people put a lot of money into having children, into just the potential of having children. Can I take that money and put that into cleaning help so that I could have another one?
Whoa. You're opening up such a perspective, because people could do that same thing of spending a lot of money on cleaning help, but like,
Yeah.
all my money going to cleaning help. But like, you just put it into, like, what would you do for a business? What would you do for a relationship? What would you do
For sure.
to get a job that you really wanted? Like, what kind of work would you put in?
Yeah.
And like, for a family, like the priceless gift of a family, we're just like, yeah, another kid. They're messy.
They're messy, and I'm weak, right?
Yeah.
I'm weak. I don't have the strength I
So
wish
what
I
did the
had.
Rebbe tell you? Like, what is he telling us?
Right.
Like,
So,
women
by the
who,
way-
I want to go back to the women who were not gifted with this gorgeous blessing that you were gifted with
Right.
in wanting it so badly, and having that mindset from the get-go of like, how do I get there? Because you started halfway there already.
Right.
And still struggled tremendously. But what is the Rebbe telling women who don't even have that 50%? They're like, I know it's the right thing to have a big family. I know I want it deep down, but I don't want it. This is too hard. I don't naturally.
So that's the first thing. I don't want it, or it's too hard. Those are two very different things, right?
What do you mean?
Because it's I want it, but it's too hard, right? And usually when I say it's too hard, that means I don't believe in myself that I could do it. And the number one thing I love doing, I feel like God put me in this world to do this, is just to go up to moms and be like, you're rocking this.
Oh.
You're awesome.
You've done that to me before.
I have. Like, I do it. I do it to like all moms. Like, I just like, you're special too. You are special. You are special.
I wasn't rocking it.
It's
in that moment.
true. But it's true. But because I feel like everyone needs to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh my Every gosh. Mother needs to hear it. Like, you've got this. Your kids are cute. Your kids are so beautiful. And I think I also told this to you, which was, your children are not a reflection of you.
Yeah.
You know, God gives you a soul to take care of, to nurture, to educate. And every child's going to be so different. And I think the more...
I think you saw my body tensing up. We were eating a Shabbos meal by you. Yeah. And like, you know, my kid was fighting. I don't know what happened. Yeah. And like, I'm just like...
And what's going through my mind is, he's tired. the poor kid is at my house and he needs his bed. He needs a nap. He's going to fall asleep in that stroller as soon as you leave, as soon as you leave. But you were just like, no, he's acting up. Like, yeah, that's what kids do when they're tired, when they're hungry, when they're in new environments, right? And I'm just like, it's not a reflection of who you are. It's not.
That sunk in. That really sunk in.
And the more kids I have, the more I see that, because each one of my kids are so different. So if I had one kid, I could be like, no, he's a reflection. But if he's a reflection, then why are all 4 of my kids completely different human beings?
Sure.
With different triggers and different, and different ways of serving God, right? Each one of them have a different love. And, my first loves learning. He could sit with a book and read and ask questions, the deepest. It's so fun to talk to him. And then my second has the biggest heart and will give his shirt for his brother. And I'm like, this is a gift that God gave him, right? And they're each personifying different amazing qualities, beautiful qualities. That's God gave that to them.
And every mother needs to realize that.
Yeah. And with every gift comes its challenges.
It's like we automatically blame ourselves. And that's the challenge that's the fear. That's what feeds into the fear.
Right. And again, sometimes it might be our fault. And that's okay too. Right? Like
she said it.
Yeah. Sometimes it again, like when you said with my kid having a bad day, it was 1000% my fault. But I'm going to challenge my thought right now, because this is something that I do all the time, is that it was my fault, but was it really my fault? Meaning, why was I tired that day? Was it because I was pregnant? Because I think at that point I just had a baby. So is it really my fault?
Yeah.
Right? What are the hormonal shifts that were going through my body at that time? Did I eat breakfast? Maybe my kids spilled, this happens all the time, where my kids will spill the leftover milk, that I was planning on taking for myself. And then, now I don't have it, or whatever the dynamic is, was it really my fault?
You can acknowledge a mistake without dunking your whole face in the toilet bowl.
I love that. I love that. Right? Like, okay, like next time I'll be more prepared.
The I made a mistake doesn't need to carry all the weight in the world.
Right.
Like you made a mistake.
I made a mistake.
Those words, you're good.
Right. And sometimes the mistake was out of my control. Right? Like sometimes there were things that, that led to that mistake happening. And forgiving myself, right? Again, all of that, because if I were to say it's all myself, it's not true. It's not accurate. It's 1000% not accurate. But I will work on myself. That even when I didn't eat breakfast, that's not an excuse to lose it on my child.
Sure. It goes both ways. Like, not to beat yourself up, but also to hold yourself accountable.
Exactly.
So you're saying that women who are in that place of, I don't want another one, like it's because of or I don't want any.
Right.
It's because of the fear
of failing, fear of judgment.
It's like you need to go back and reframe the whole way that you communicate with yourself, because clearly there's a real lack of confidence.
Yeah.
A real lack of what else?
We haven't listened to our voice, right? Again, we're going to go back to that social media. Like, am I looking at this as ideas for parenting, or as judgment, as in this is all the things I have to do, and if I don't do this, then I'm a bad mother, right? Instead of it being inspiration, exciting, oh, this is a cool idea, it's oh, I don't do that, I don't, right?
Can I ask you what you learned about what the Rebbe spoke to women about?
That was actually one of the sikhs of the Rebbe. The Rebbe says that one of the reasons why women struggle is because they're scared of what people are going to say about them.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was very powerful to me, because it's really, I had to stop all those voices and be like, no, that's those voices are not mine. They're not my voices.
It's so hard to do, because they become our voices if we're not careful.
100%. And we don't even realize. And again, how do I know if this is a good voice or a bad voice? Is it stopping me from doing what I know God wants from me, which is to have more children?
Wow.
Right. We have it harder than our parents had it, because they didn't have they didn't have anyone telling them that it was neglectful to put their kids in a playpen without, with toys, and to leave them alone and they're safe, right? Now it's like that's
Where's
not
the Montessori toys and the projects, and you need to be sitting eye level with them.
100%. Or like even
And don't get too involved, but
exactly. I don't have a high chair in my house. I don't have any kid toys in general. Especially at this point. I would say that with my first and second kid, I got very excited to like deep dive into all the different, like, this is what they're doing now and this is the right toy for them. And I'm like, now they just have their brothers and they just, they figure it out.
They play in the wild.
Yeah, they use my Amazon boxes. I got them scooters. They scooter outside all the time. It's so cute. Like, they don't need toys anymore.
Well,
because they have each other. And now I don't have to clean up their toys.
Oh, that's a win.
It's such a win.
All right, I'm throwing that box out.
Throw the box out. Honestly, declutter. That's, by the way, another whole journey that I went through that's been helping me stay zen, is like the less stuff to manage. Like, I want to manage my kids. I don't want to manage their stuff. That really helped me. But again, we could go into that for like another hour and a half. Like, like the more time I have to spend with my kids, the happier I am. Whoa. So is this taking me away from my kids?
So it sounds like you got really good at blocking out the noise that was coming from yourself, because that's what needs to go first.
Right.
Your inner messaging. What are you telling yourself? Where are you getting this messaging from? Like, stopping and being like, 1 second, hello thought. Did you come from that reel I just watched, that article I just read, or are you me?
Right.
Who are you? And then making your life more, after listening to yourself, you can block out the noise of your life. Like, okay, so what's necessary and what's not necessary? Like, I'm trying to run this boat efficiently and I'm the boss. This is gonna go, that's gonna go, this expectation is gonna go.
I'll give you a small example. My kids love scootering in the house. Okay, so I think according to all norms, that's not okay.
No scooters in the house, no balls in the house.
No balls in the house. But it's easier for me for them to scooter in the house, because then I don't have to be in the heat, and that drains me. That gives me a headache if I don't drink enough water. So I'd rather be inside and have them scooter inside, So that means we're going to take the carpet that's really cute in front of the couch, and we're going to roll it up, and we're not going to have that carpet because it's taking away from my calm. Whoa. Right? Again, like I said, I live in a warehouse, and I really hope one day I'm going to be able to create a beautiful warehouse.
Of course you will.
I'm going to figure it out. I'm like, that's my, they say that after, like, the Rebbe said that every child comes with its set of blessings, I look at each one of my kids, and back to my journey, like, I would say that I worked really hard after my second kid to get to a good place. It involved learning, it involved eating healthy, it involved walking. It involved getting tons of help, extra help, as it's an insane
and changing
amount
your
of
perspective
help.
About that help.
Totally changing that perspective. I'm talking about having an angel of a teenage girl coming in the morning to help watch my kids so that I could get dressed in the morning. Again, like, we're talking about, like, I treated myself like a queen. I invested.
Can you tell us more about this queen treatment? Because I think that women need to hear it to feel valid about doing it for themselves. So yes, something external we need to hear to implement it in our lives, but tell us.
I found out that when I spent more than 5 minutes getting dressed, I felt really good, right? And I'm focusing a lot on dressing my kids cute, right? But what about me? A really cool perspective, by the way, is I always said, I said this to my teenagers in high school all the time. I'm like, there's one time that everyone will look picture perfect in your family, and that's going to be probably like at a chasana, like at a wedding,
if they haven't spilled the purple punch on their shirt.
Exactly yet. So like for a quick second, like for that picture, I said mother looks good, father looks good, all the kids look good. There's beautiful flowers and the table's all set, right? Like, you're in this beautiful luxury looking place. And I always say, like, what does the hotel look like? The hotel room that you rented for that wedding?
Hot mess.
We're talking about suitcases, things flying, food
Dirty
everywhere,
diapers.
makeup, and it's so normal. I don't know, at least in my life, like that was like a normal, like
In
this
everyone's
is
life.
in everyone's life, right? Okay, I'm like, it's not just mine, but like that hotel room, and all my students just start laughing because they know it's true. And I cannot have everyone look perfect all the time. So every day it's like, it's either going to be my house looks good, but my kids are a little bit of a mess, or I look good and my kids are a little bit of a mess. Like we got to take turns.
So you're not having the perspective of like, if my hotel room being a mess is bad. You're just like,
Right.
of course.
Of course it looks like a mess.
And it's not bad, it's a mess. Okay.
Yeah. So again, queen treatment. So I'm going to do what I need to do to look put together. And that means that in the morning, I might need a little bit of extra help. So I had a girl come. I paid her to come to my house before high school started. She walked over to my house and she would watch my kids for an hour.
What an angel.
While I don't think the money was worth it for her. Like she saved my life. I don't know if
Wow.
she realizes. And I'm sure like there was times that she came and kids were in dirty diapers.
What's her name?
And mess. Can I throw her name out there?
First name.
Leia.
Shout out to Leia.
Leia. Oh,
Leia, you're a queen.
She's definitely amazing, and she helped me be the queen that I get to be. So that was a great help. That's when I got my Instacart and my Walmart Plus and all that good
Yes.
stuff. You know, I get my personal shoppers. And then I had my cleaning help, and I will remember that, like, I had this angel of a woman who I don't have that now. And I really, again, I believe in seasons, and Hashem's telling me right now I don't need that. And I know that as soon as I need it again, I will have it.
Like no shame in having it again, just right now.
Exactly. Right now, I
you
just haven't
reassessed.
found the right person. I haven't found her.
Okay.
But she managed my house. Like, she wasn't just cleaning help. She was a house manager. She
was your other queen.
Oh, she was phenomenal. I would Instacart Shabbos meals, you know, like the carrots and the onions, whatever. And she knew what I was going to make based off of my
Oh my
bags.
gosh.
And she would chop the vegetables, peel the vegetables. It took me an hour just to season and put things in the oven.
Wow.
Again, like, I spoiled myself. I really did.
Any regrets?
No. My regret is that I didn't start it earlier. You know, I felt guilty. I'm like, I don't need this now. I have only 2 kids. Right. But it's like,
But maybe that's why you have 4 kids.
that's exactly. I really, yeah. And I remember
Also,
telling
it's different to do it and to do it without guilt.
There was no guilt. I worked through it. I'm like, no. And again, sometimes there's these little pieces of guilt. I remember apologizing to my my lady, and I was like, I'm so sorry for the mess. And she looked at me. She's like, your kids are beautiful. Your job is to take care of them.
I love her.
And she healed something inside of me at that moment, where she's like, this is my job. Your job is to take care of your kids.
This is like the 4th time you've made me cry in this interview, and I'm gonna have to cut this.
Oh, yeah, because it's what we want.
People don't realize how like effective those comments are. Like they don't
Those
realize
little
the
things.
inner narrative in a mother that's like so messy.
She 1000%. And a good friend of mine who I talk about this to all the time, she's like, you know, you might have a messy house, but your mind is clear.
Whoa. But that's unique to you, by the way. And like you're
Right.
teaching us through this conversation, you're teaching so many women how to do this, but you are unique in that. You've come to a place because from the get-go,
Yeah.
you're like, I want this. How
Yeah.
do
How do I get there?
get there? And you put in the work. You followed the
Yeah.
Rebbe's directives of like mothers need to take care of themselves. Like,
Yeah.
no, you can't have 6, 7 children when you don't have help.
And I want to say, and people said, like, I don't have the money. I want to tell you, I did not have the money. I did not have the money. I found it. I took it out of savings. I invested in myself. I invested in my family.
This is your business. This is your passion.
This is my
project.
business. I am running a home, you know, and it's real. I'm running meals, right? Like, let's count how many meals I have. Thank God, 6 people in my house and eating 3 times a day, 7 times a week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone do the math for me. That's a lot of meals every single week.
Endless. That's the math.
Endless. And again, I'm managing the cleaning help. I'm managing my Instacart and my Walmart. All these people I'm managing them.
You're the CEO.
I'm the CEO, and I'm so grateful. So grateful. And again, counting your blessings and focusing on that goodness is so important. And every single night, I just hug my babies. And their bedtime, I mean, if every mom out there knows bedtime's the hardest time of the day.
Yes, ma'am.
You're checked out. You've used all of your energy all day, and it's like they know how to squeeze the last, you know, not even the last. There's nothing there. They just know how to squeeze that empty vessel. And
that's hysterical.
And it's just, and all I do is like I hug them, and I'm like, you know what? They're love me.
Obsessed with me.
They want me. Yeah. They want me. And again, I'm going to do things that are unconventional. So last night I told them, I'm like, boys, I was in your room for an hour. You're not going to sleep. I'm done. And I remember being like, if I don't leave this room right now, I'm going to lose it. So I'm so I left. I picked myself up and I'm like, I love you guys, but no. And they cried outside my door. And I said, when you guys are ready to go to sleep,
wow,
I will come back out. I will come back out of my room.
That's called self-respect.
Yeah. And they were crying outside my door. And I said, boys, I love you, but I'm not coming out until you calm down. Mm-hmm. And they went into their bed.
Like they could know that mommies have big emotions.
Yeah, big emotions. And they went back into their bed.
Well,
they came back like a minute later and they said, we went into our bed and you're not out yet. I said, nope, 5 minutes. 5 minutes of not coming out of bed. I did go. 5 minutes later, they were done. They were sleeping. They were so tired. And, you know, I told them this morning, I said, you know, mommy came back into the room afterwards and you were sleeping and I was so proud of you. Wow. And I did follow up with them this morning. But yeah, they know how to suck everything out of you. They really do.
Lala, you are a rock star.
Thank you.
And I want you to, if I like gave you stairs to a rooftop that would reach hundreds and thousands of people, what are you telling them? What are you leaving us with? What's a message that you would shout from the rooftops?
You don't have a big family overnight. It's one kid at a time. Just because I'm not ready to have 10 kids does not mean that you're not ready to have 3 or you're not ready to have 4, right? Like just one. I want everybody's voice to themselves to be like, you're an amazing mom. You're an amazing mom. I want people to look at people in these hard times, right? And recognizing that it's just temporary and to celebrate each other instead of it being like, oh, that mother is falling apart or that mother's kid is, you know, it has a dirty diaper or this and that. It's, hey, can I help you?
Oh.
You know? Because there's going to be seasons that I could help another mother and there's going to be seasons when that mother's going to help me. And that's totally normal. That's totally okay as well.
Be each other's community.
Be each other's community. I'm back to you. Like, I love being able to pick up your son from school, and I'm sure that helps you out so much. Gosh. And I'm in that season where I'm able to, you know, and I love that I could be that support. And there's going to be a time, I know it, that you're gonna be, you know, helping me out.
Absolutely.
So whenever and instead of it being like, oh my gosh, like that mother, she can't pick up her own kid, you know, like picking up her kid is like such an important time. Like that child should know that her mother loves him and can't wait to pick him up at the end of the day. Whatever the like that thought, that voice, that horrible. It's like, no, that mom's going to be smiling outside the door, you know, and that's something I love telling your son when I pick him up. It's like, mommy can't wait to see you.
What a gift he gets to be in your car.
I love having him. He's so cute. And he already like starts quoting me, like before we get into the car, he goes, guys, I don't want any fighting in the car today.
No way.
And I'm like, I love you. And everyone's like, we're like, there's not going to be any fighting in the car today. And then I'll be like, whoever's buckled up nicely gets a little cookie, and he like will jump into the seat and have his little cookie, and like, you know, he's great. He's so great. And I love I love that. And
you love being my village.
But instead of, I want us to think, if I see a mother struggling, and instead of judging, it's what, like, I'm obviously seeing this for a reason. What could I do to help? Yeah. That, again, another one of the beautiful Rebbe's teachings, which is if you see a flaw in somebody, it either is a mirror or it's for you to help. Those are your two options. So it's either that's what I look like, go work on myself, or go help that person. And that has helped me tremendously. So again, just that personal narrative of, I see a mother struggling. Let me go help.
Whoa. I love that we're ending off with that message, because that's practical. That's like, okay, we just took in all this information. Now go be that.
I get to help.
Yeah.
I get to help. Shout out to all the preschool Moras.
Oh my gosh. We love you.
Yeah. They get to see us at our best and at our not the best. And they
nurture our kids all day.
All day. And I'm just so grateful to have this village, this community to help me raise my family.
Wow. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Beyond powerful. Powerful is not the word. That was like everything that words cannot express. And thank you for sharing your work and your heart with everybody here.
Thank you,
everybody
so
listening.
Much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me. I do put my heart into these podcasts. And if you are interested in sponsoring an episode, please reach out to info.dayinmyjewishlife@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. Any feedback is welcomed. Wishing everyone a beautiful day.